What's going on? It's Keyshawn. Welcome to a new episode of my show, Undisputed Presents All Facts, No Breaks podcast with me, Keyshawn Johnson. Speaking of Undisputed, joining us today is my homeboy, co-host on FS1. I call him the Playmaker. Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer, yellow gold jacket, whatever you want to call it. My dude, Michael Irvin. Been knowing Michael since I entered the league back in 1996. Thank you, man, for coming on and joining me.
Man, Key, come on, man. I'm so happy to be here, man, and watching you do your thing. Even in the intro, on the prompter. For those of you who know, that prompter's no joke now. Key, that skill to read in a prompter like you're just talking is a hell of a skill. So that's a great job. I don't mess with them things.
No, over time, no.
They hard, boy. They're joking.
No,
boy.
but I actually learned how to read in the prompter from TJ, from Tom Jackson at ESPN when we were together,
dude,
along with Boomer. When I first got there, you know, the prompter was like, oh, what is this?
Right.
And then, you know, I learned to do it, and I'm just, I guess, solid and sound at it, baby.
I've been around people like that. You talking about Chris Berman and Tom Jackson. You know, I was on the show. Man, I learned so much from them dudes, man. So much. Berman, I heard you say that before one time, too. You know, Chris Berman used to always say, hey, don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's going to Pluto.
On his way to Pluto.
It's on his way to Pluto.
It's on his way to Pluto. Well, I botched a lead one time. You know, because I like to write my leads, and I think it was a lead. Deion Sanders, not Deion, it was Willis McGahee. I botched the lead, and I was so devastated. He just kept saying, man, that's on his way to Pluto. That's live TV. We can't bring that back. Let's move on. I just appreciate those guys.
It happened to me my first year there, about 3 weeks in. I was talking, and I was on a topic, and I'm just going. Now I got air traffic control in my ear because the director opened up my earpiece, and he's like, camera 2, 1, and I'm like, and I stopped in mid-sentence, and Tom goes, what are you doing? I said, man, somebody talking to me. He ain't talking to you, fool. He talking to me. I was like, hey. All right, I got it. But I got it.
It's on his way to Pluto. Let's move on. Let's move on, man. Two great dudes. In this business, people, you got to, everybody don't take their time, especially when they're that great, to spend time teaching. Those two always talk when you work with them.
No, that's true. That's very, very true. You know, and so I decided I'm put this podcast together. And part of that is I always wanted to do it because I did radio, national radio, I did local radio, I've done all that, TV. I've been in the business 17, 18 years, but I never had a pod. And so, you know, when I got to Undisputed, I said, man, you know, I think I still want to be in the audio space to a degree, digital audio space. So let me talk to the powers that be and figure out how I can put this thing together so I can still talk about things that we don't necessarily talk about on Undisputed, and I could be uncensored at the same time. So
and go in long form.
And I could be in my own form, have my own fun. But in part of that, I said, okay, so who do I want to be a part of this? I got production crew, whatnot. I'm gonna bring some family in with me. Say, okay, I got a 25-year-old knucklehead that's looking to get some chips, get some paper in his pocket. So I decided, I said, you know what? I'm going to bring my son in. I'm going to bring Keyshawn in because he knows sports. He knows the gaming space. He's intelligent. He's a guy who played the position. So I said, I'm going to bring my son in. So I brought Keyshawn Jr. in with me to go ahead and work on this podcast with me. And he's doing a tremendous job for us, man. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to bring the right people around you.
And you do, Key. My oldest daughter, Maisha, is the conservator of my trust, you know what I mean? Because I gotta prepare her for my leaving time going to eternity. We will always all go at some point. Now you've worked hard and built something.
Yes.
And if you did it right, the family should be able to sustain for a minute on this beyond your going. My dad used to always say, when I was a kid, man, I didn't understand it at first. He said, great men will see farther than they can run.
Yeah.
Great men will see. That means great men will start things that will outlive them. I see my granddaughters, like you talk about your son, I see my granddaughters, I be kissing them, I say, hey, Papa gonna take care of you from the grave. But Papa gone, Papa gonna still be sending you something.
I ain't ready to be a
There's
Papa
nothing greater than that. Well, and you're gonna take care of Lil Key from the grave. Our job, and a lot of us didn't have these coming up.
No.
But we're setting up things that hopefully can take care of our family long after we're gone.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's start the show off talking the Cowboys' epic collapse. Playmaker, watch what your former head coach had to say about America's team down 27-7 at halftime.
Well, first of all, I can't say what I would say now on television, but I'll just say this. Every single one of you, you know how hard we've worked. I don't need to have people pointing the fingers one thing or another. You get your rear end in there and you play the way you know how to play. We can win the game. We're going to open it up. We're going to go fast tempo. Defense, get after Jordan Love. You can't give him that much time. You do what you're supposed to do, we'll win this game.
All right. That Michael fighter. He's got everybody fired up.
No, Mike, no.
Let me get in front of you. Me for a shoe right now.
I could not agree more.
Embarrassing.
You cannot.
Michael, as the leader of the Cowboys in the 90s, we know you would have had something to say in this situation. Give us your halftime speech.
Well, listen, I first of all, I want to say this. Jimmy probably had more fire than what was in the real locker room. And he was sitting on TV.
Absolutely.
Now, let me tell y'all this. I've been in the locker room plenty of times when Coach Johnson has come in and given that speech. And, dude, that was great. Now, imagine him really being in the moment and hyped 200 times more. Mm-hmm. Man, you leave that locker room saying, this is different. The great thing he always did, though, he always told us how this thing was going to play out. It always played out exactly how Coach Johnson told us it was going to play out. Now, you're motivating a new group. These young kids are different. These kids are different. The thing, Jimmy, everybody has in this social media world their own thing that they want, and what they're trying to get. But the reality is the only way you get it, because you asked me what I would be saying, the only way you get it is if we get on the same page. If you came here because you wanted to make money, be famous, whatever that is, get girls, whatever it is, we can miss getting all of that. But if we all focus on winning, the number one thing, the only thing we make this, the only thing we focus on, everybody else can get what they want. Because winning takes care of all of that. We got 53 people that come in here with 53 different desires and directions and directives and what they want to accomplish in life. We got to come together. So whatever you want, that's fine. But we all got to want it by winning, and it'll give us all what we want. And that's where I think the separation comes from. When you step on the field, you're bringing your skill. But those kind of things and those kind of conversations is what helps deepen our will to play together so we can accomplish what we all want and get what we want out of this. That's what I think the Dallas Cowboys are missing. They don't get that. You're living a great life, but you need to know what it's like to be a champion, to walk in a room as a champion, especially when you're wearing that star on the side of your head. It's incredible. I wish and I hope for them to experience that life.
Yeah, I always tease and poke fun at the Cowboys situation because they've been in neutral for so damn long.
So long.
They've been in neutral 30 years, I think it is.
So long.
It since your last Super Bowl against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everybody always says that they need a coach like a Jimmy, like a Parcells, a Belichick that is stern and delivers the message differently. What I tell people in these situations, it's not that they need somebody that takes control from an authority standpoint. They need somebody that can explain the details to them a certain way so that they don't get a penalty a 5-yard penalty when Green Bay is on the 10-yard line and now you advance them closer when they're getting ready to kick a field goal. You know better. You know, hey, I'm not supposed to jump off sides. You already know. You know it's third down, they get ready to kick a field. I can't jump offside. Oh, I can't hold the guy. It's 3rd and 17. Why would I hold a guy downfield and now making it 1st and 10 and giving them 4 more downs to come and try to score a touchdown? Those type of coaches, the little details, situational football, you learn all that from them. And to me, that's what they're missing.
That's what they're missing.
Mike McCarthy, all of a sudden he's coming back now. You know, I get a chance to laugh next year a lot. But can he get them to respond to what he is teaching them? That's the key. Can he get them to do that? If he can get them to do that, then the Cowboys can win a lot of games. Man, they done won 12 games for the last 3 years. 12, 12, and 12.
But it takes something different. It takes something different when you go to the playoffs. And winning 12 games in the regular season, that's great.
Yeah, but Michael, you know that allows you to get prepared for the playoffs.
Right. But it also illuminates and exposes you as to why is this happening. Only thing that happened, you go from week 17, 18, how many weeks we play. 1 week later, it's called the playoffs.
Yes.
Why all of a sudden you're not playing like you were playing? So I put this on the coach more than anything because ultimately you already told me it's not a skill. You put up those numbers in all these other games, so you have it skill-wise. Then why can't you get this done? And that's my job to find out what I need to do with this player and how do I put him in the best position to win. And that is where Mike McCarthy has come up short.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to what you said, that Mike McCarthy is officially back for the Cowboys. Looking at this video from Jimmy, do you guys think McCarthy instills a similar passion to his team?
I think he does instill a passion, but it's a different passion. He's not just there because he wants to be on the sideline and wear a hat with a star on it and not coach the team. Jimmy Johnson is one of one. You can't be Jimmy. Mike's got to be Mike. And if his approach is such that it's kind of boring and dull, I played for Coach Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy went on and won a championship. He's in the Hall of Fame. But I left Bill Parcells, which was a screamer, a yeller, a frowner. He gonna scare it. Man, Bill will look at you and Bill would look at you like you would look at your 6-year-old kid and look at him like, did you just do that? That's how he would look at you. So you already knew. You see what I'm saying? Like if I did something wrong in the game, Mike, I take the long way around the bench to go where I need to go because I don't want to pass him, knowing that he's going to dog curse me and act a certain way. I don't want to hear that mess.
Right. But you also know that's your dude.
Yes.
That's your dude.
Yes.
And you know he's going to get on you because he knows what's in you.
Yes.
Great coaches reaches down. They know how to reach down inside each kid and pull out their king. Bill know how to do that with you. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Johnson knows how to do that with me. And that's why I say leadership, we want to blanket it, but it's an individual thing. And are you good enough to individually motivate these people? You got to find the trigger that makes everybody go. Bill knew what trigger made you go. Jimmy knew what trigger made me go. You got to reach down inside and find. You cannot have guys showing up in the playoffs like they showed up, looking like they were not ready to play. And the head coach then sitting up here saying, we just somehow we were not prepared to play. How are you saying you're not prepared to play?
Would it be, because I'm assuming they don't have a coach on the staff that's like, I don't know, could reach the players at a certain level at a certain time. Could somebody like Eric Bieniemy on that staff work? Not necessarily changing the offensive system or whatever, but could somebody
right. That's interesting you bring up Eric, because what did we hear coming out of Washington?
That he was too tough.
Disciplined.
Yeah, he was too disciplined.
He's too disciplined.
Yeah.
That's interesting because and what was Eric coming from? He was coming from a champion.
Yeah, champion.
He was saying, which I find fascinating, that they would even open their mouth to rumble about it. He was coming over and saying, this is what champions do. I just left them. I know this is what we've done over there. And their first response was, man, you too hard on us. Chuck, are you joking? Are you serious? Wipe all of them out. Whoever says something. When I first got to Dallas, it's true story too. When I first got to Dallas, dude, I'm coming from Miami. I left my junior year, graduated after my junior year. I lost 2-3 games. All my years in Miami. coming to Dallas? We lost the Pittsburgh game. First game we lose. Catch a curl route. I go and score. I say I scored on Rod Woodson, but Rod Woodson really was chasing me. It was another move. I made touchdowns. Well, it was my first touchdown on Rod Woodson, like the basketball. When you dunk, who's the closest? I dunked on you. Whoever the closest, that dunk was on you. Rod Woodson was chasing me down. So when he tackled me, I was I got you worried. You know what I mean? But after I scored, they commenced to whooping our butt after that. I mean, they whooped our butt. I was crying like a baby in the locker room. I cried. We won at 15. We went 3-13 that year. I was crying in the locker room after games because I had known not that kind of losing. And guys were coming up to me saying, hey, come on, man. It's the NFL, though. You don't do that here.
Man, you don't stop touching me.
Pick up that check on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Pick up that check on Tuesday. Key, the next year, I knew Jimmy was coming. Jimmy had already told me he was going, Jerry was going to buy the team.
Yeah.
Because remember, I was a junior leaving college. I had told teams, since I'm a junior, don't draft me. You got to check with me before you draft me because since you're a junior, you can go back to school. They'll lose a draft pick. I could have applied for a supplemental draft. Jimmy came to me at Miami. He said, I know what you're doing in the draft, son. He said, but listen, don't try any of that stuff with Dallas. He said, next year, I'm going to be the head coach in Dallas. I got a very good friend by the Cowboys. This was before I got drafted. Mm-hmm. Tom Landry drafted me, but I knew Jimmy was coming in. Jerry Jones bought the team next year. Boy, soon as that was official. Coach, what's up, Coach? Yeah, I went and met with Coach. If you touch my leg and said, pick up that check on Tuesday, your ass gotta go. In our culture, we say we don't snitch. I snitched. Here. We ain't gonna win no championship with him. Let's get him out of here. And we got him out of there. You can be my friend, but you're not helping me win. You gotta go.
It's so funny, the similarities of the stories. My rookie year, 1-15. Coming from USC, winning games and Rose Bowls and Cotton Bowls and being the MVPs.
Going out to the Jets.
And I got dudes collecting the checks on Tuesday. And so I'm crying. I wrote a book, just give me the damn ball because
the paint, dude.
I'm painting my rookie season because I can't believe, I just couldn't believe Richie Kotite was my coach. And I'm sitting here going, this the NFL? This is how you act?
Right.
And so the moment that Bill Parcells decided he's not getting back on the plane from the Superdome in New Orleans to go back with the New England Patriots, and he was coming to New York to be the head coach, it was like I died and went to heaven. I met with him the first day that he had his press conference. We sat in the room in his office, Michael, and all set up. He had the shades pulled. He had a little lamp, little light on. That was it. It was like an interrogation room. And he said, how much you weigh? I said, I'm probably 225 right now. He goes, how much did you weigh at USC? I said, I'm about 208. He said, I want that guy. I came back, I was 205. The rest of it was history. I was good to go. I was good to go.
Right.
I said, I want that guy. I don't want the guy with the mumps walking around here at 225. I want the guy that's 208. And the rest was history.
Right.
So when you have certain
that's
leadership,
reaching down inside your kid, though, because he went somewhere directed. Yeah. He went to where he saw you do some things. He said, okay, that's that dude I saw. That's that dude I want. Key, you want to be the best.
Absolutely.
Now you got a coach saying, well, I saw greatness in you. I just need you to find that dude.
Yeah.
I'm with that. Whatever you say, I'm with that.
Whatever, I have no
whatever
arguments.
you say, I'm with it. Because you're that kind of coach, and I know you win. Everybody's not about winning, even in the National Football League. And that's a hard thing to hear because you think up here, it's all about the best. It's all about the best. But people have come for different reasons. They come to make money. They want to be famous. I want to win a championship, and all that'll come with it.
Absolutely.
And you got to find those people.
I tell people all the time, if Coach Parcells didn't take over the Jets in 1997, and then my career didn't take off, ain't nothing wrong with working at UPS.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But I'd have a different post job in my career. But the reason is I was able to win. Right. I was able to go into Tampa to a Hall of Fame coach that kept me moving in the right direction. Right. And I was able to win and play well. And then you win a Super Bowl, it's like, Once people don't understand, once you win the Super Bowl, it's a different level.
Different level. You get to walk in that room, and that's a different room that you get to walk in. And you want to be able to walk in that room. And there's nothing wrong with working at UPS, but we started this talking about.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with it.
Well, we started this talking about we have an opportunity to leave something beyond our time here in time when we go to eternity. I'm just thinking it'll probably be a little more difficult to do all of that working on other places that's not like the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, a name we haven't focused on as much in the collapse is Micah Parsons. Listen to what your co-host Skip Bayless had to say.
Micah Parsons, he's so overrated. He had the worst pass rush game of his entire career yesterday. Only 1 pressure, 0 sacks, 0 tackles for loss, 1 solo tackle, and 1 assist. Are you kidding me?
First and foremost, is Micah Parsons overrated?
God, no. Absolutely not. Now, do we project and throw them in with the great ones? Yeah, but only when the numbers say so. You start doing those comparative analysis. Micah Parsons and ALT, because they've had a number of sacks in the first few years. What we have gotten to during the season, you have one. They've had one. He's had a very good career, but in the playoffs, it just hadn't taken off to that next level. But you do understand, like we talked about, Key, in the playoffs, things are always more difficult, and that's why it requires everyone. I saw Micah Parsons the other day getting double teamed on the line with a running back waiting on him. When he finally got through to beating the 2 linemen, he still had a running back waiting on him, and they got the ball off. You want me to say to Michael Parsons he's not doing his job? I have to say to these other jokers, what the hell are you doing? If I got 3 guys blocking 1 guy, what the hell are you doing? That's where I am. No, absolutely not. He's not overrated. In Green Bay, didn't think he was overrated, or I wouldn't have seen 3 people blocking him. That's all I'm saying.
No, I don't subscribe to him being overrated at all. What I subscribe to him being is overhyped. And that's part of the reasoning, the scrutiny has come his way. Because when you take a guy and you mention that guy as in the same breath as an all-time great, even though the numbers suggest he's headed in the right direction, that he's headed in that direction as Lawrence Taylor or Derek Thomas or hell, DeMarcus Ware, who's a Hall of Famer. Those numbers say he's headed in that direction. But when you get to the postseason or you get to the second half of seasons and he starts to fade, everybody points to. They're not looking at the double and the triple teams like you and I. They looking at the stat line. They looking at the stat line in the box.
Right.
Because the box scores don't say he was doubled on this play, he was tripled on that play, they chipped him on this play. So people naturally look at that as production. That's why I say I don't ever like to hype people up until they actually have arrived. You know, it's like the Jordan Love effect right now. Oh, is he better than Aaron Rodgers? Like, man, slow down. He had 1 good game. Now, all of a sudden, because he throws like Aaron Rodgers, oh, he could be better than Aaron Rodgers. It's like, well, wait a minute, man. Aaron Rodgers got 4 MVPs, a Super Bowl trip, countless NFC Championship appearances. But I think Michael Parsons is overhyped. And it's not his fault. It's the media's fault for drawing the comparisons to some of the all-time great pass rushers that ever played the game. But as far as a player goes, I take him in a heartbeat.
When he had 12 back-to-back 12 sacks or whatever, how LT started out, I forgot the numbers. That's when the comparison, because only the other guy has done it was LT.
Yes.
That's fitting. That's apropos. That's okay to do that. I want what we need to understand, and I always say this to people. I measure men in distance travel just so I can have an understanding. That means don't tell me where you are. Let me see where you started. And I shall measure where you are accordingly. If you came from nothing and built the life you built, then that's a hell of a man. That's a great business. If your dad left you $1 billion and you still got $1 billion, I shouldn't measure you as great. Your dad left that. You did nothing to get that. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I say though on that one?
But now if your dad left you $1 billion and you turned it into $100 billion, you're a bad brother. You got to give you that credit. Yeah. So it's not just about where you end up or where you start. It's about the journey. What distance did you travel in that journey? Because then I can learn from that. And I think when you start talking about Michael Parsons, let's remember this journey.
Yes.
Michael Parsons just started.
Oh, he just started.
Just started. I'm talking about just started putting his hand in the dirt and going at the quarterback. This is not his primary. This is his secondary that he's done so well that he's ranked up there with the primary guys that do this all the time. Michael Parsons, he drops back in coverage sometimes. He doesn't always go to the quarterback, but he's always ranked up there with the guys that rush all the time. So when you start over talking about his ratings and rankings, make sure you keep that in mind. So what I'm saying, he still has room to get much better.
He's going to get better.
And he's devastating things right now, and he can get much better.
No, he's going to get better. He is not overrated at all or whatever. I think he has been overhyped because they haven't let it continue to grow before they start hyping him up. Everything was a hype. Now, is he going to turn the corner at some point, second half of the season in the playoffs? You would hope so. His sign is pointing up, not pointing down.
But I don't put it on him. I put it
on
people around.
It's not on him.
Saying, but what I'm saying, we want him to show up and play in the big games and in the playoffs. And I'm saying
no,
to the
what
Cowboys
we want him to do is beat them
Nation,
double teams is what we want him to do.
Right. And he will when someone else steps up and make the offense start saying, well, we got to worry about him too. I can't give 3 guys to Michael Parsons because somebody else may get to the quarterback. If I'm giving 3 guys to Michael Parsons,
somebody got to be free.
Somebody got to make a play. And when they start making a play, they'll take one of them guys off Michael Parsons and help with that guy, and then Michael Parsons can get back to making plays. That's the reality of how this works.
Well, since we're speaking on the collapses of the NFC East, the reigning NFC champs in the Philadelphia Eagles also took an L in the wild card weekend, losing to Baker Mayfield's Buccaneers. This begs the question, which collapse was worse this season, the Cowboys or the Eagles?
Oh, my God. Michael. This is not even a question when we start talking about which is greater. Honestly, I've never seen anything like what Philly just went through. Right. You know what I mean? Philly won so many close last-second games. Coming off Super Bowl, you started this season 10-1. And everybody, it was like, this is incredible. Yeah, they weren't even playing great, but they always found a way to win the game. For you to start off 10-1 and go, 1-6 down the stretch, and then put that performance on the playoffs, that's a major collapse. Will I say that's bigger than Dallas? Yes.
No.
Will the world cover it as such? No. No way they will cover it. That's a bigger collapse.
Right.
Let me tell you what I mean. We hoping Dallas knows what it takes to get to a championship game. We know the Philadelphia Eagles knows what it takes to get there. They were there the year before, and they started out 10-1. Everybody had them as the best team. To lose to that team, Tampa, on the road, first of all, it shouldn't have been lost. You should have had the whole NFC playoffs coming through Philadelphia if you just maintained anything in this one in that down the stretch. So that's a major collapse. But it won't be covered the same way because of the hype that Dallas gets. That's
Mike,
the reality.
stop, man. You know damn well the Dallas collapse was bigger than the Eagles.
How is that so?
Because you just said the Eagles was tinkering along the entire season.
I didn't say tinker. I said they 10-1.
But
they won late games, which is the most important.
No, man, they was squeaking out victories. You can tell that their defense wasn't the same defense. The offense wasn't the same. What did we say all week, all year long? Well, they missed the offensive coordinator. That's not doing the same. Jalen Hurts, something wrong with him.
Right.
Yada, 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 yada. So on and so on and so on.
Right.
But here's what I would say. The Dallas Cowboys at home, undefeated at home. Undefeated at home, averaging 40 points a game at home. You backed into the number 2 seed to the point that you convinced me to pick you to go to the damn Super Bowl because you at home. Now, all of a sudden, the number 7 seed is only 7 seeds in the playoffs. 7. I can count. 7 teams, 7 seeds. You was the number 2.
Never before
in the history of the National Football League, Keyshawn, has a 7 seed beat a 2 seed in the playoffs. And you talk about collapse.
Yeah.
Did you not see the pictures that I put on you on social media?
We'll see those later.
Get on out of here with
what
that.
You mean?
This joke will be catching me with all these old shots, man. I mean, I'm watching the game. I get people calling me, man, Key Killian, man. I said, what Key? Well, I'm right here with Key. What are you talking about? Yeah. This joker here, man. He doesn't say anything when he's doing it. I'm just watching the game. Next thing I know, I get bing, 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 bing. And everybody hit me. I look at him and say, hey, dirty joker, what you doing here? What you doing? Come on, man, I said, stop messing with this. I'm trying to watch this game. Let me tell you, man.
So
I understand the collapse. I understand what you're saying when you break down the collapse. But the reality is, we were hoping the Cowboys were ready. I know the Eagles, they've been there.
But
that
the Eagles
collapse,
wasn't ready.
It started out 10-1.
We've been saying it all year long, especially the second half of the season, when the Eagles went on the slide, that they were not a team that was going into the playoffs to win. They was going into the playoffs to lose. We thought the Dallas Cowboys was going into the playoffs to win, but guess what they did?
I thought they would right the
ship.
I thought they would right the ship. It's something when you're trying to get back to a Super Bowl. Every team you're playing is going to measure themselves by you. So for them to go 10-1 in those first 11 games, let me tell y'all something. That's a hard thing to do. I know you were talking about them when those are close games because these teams
they demoted the defensive coordinator in the middle of the damn year.
Right.
The Cowboys didn't demote Dan Quinn.
But we're still missing 10-1.
It doesn't matter. They felt like their team was not doing what they're supposed to do, especially on defense. They told a dude that was running the defense, no, you're not good enough. I'm finna get another guy that wears a pencil on the side of his ear. Coach Pencil, as Skip would call him, is going to run the defense now because we're not good. We're not good. And they still wasn't any good. So that's not a collapse. When the Dallas Cowboys, since 2021 to 2023, they in the statistical category, Michael, defensively, is in the top 7 in every category that matters. Yards per game, points per game, defensively. Sacks in the season, number 1 in pressures, turnovers, top 7 in all the categories that matter defensively. And then you go out and you let Jordan Love do that to you at home.
But you're still talking projections and facts. We're projecting the Cowboys can get there. The fact is, Philly did. So you know the climb. You know the climb, you know the grind. How is it that you go 10-1 and then collapse? Let me tell you.
Well, they had already started collapsing.
Also, Philly had built what I thought, and I thought they were doing it the right way. They had a great defense. They had some age in it. They went and got all them young champions off Georgia. They were bringing champions with champions. Putting them together. I said, this is going to be a dynasty for a while. These guys are going to get together and play for a while.
But they lost two coordinators.
And this thing fell off. Yes. Yeah. I understand. I remember losing. Y'all
didn't lose no coordinators. Y'all lost Kellen Moore, and the head coach took over the play calling, and you still was number 1 in scoring.
Right.
That's it.
Right. But Key, that's this Cowboy team. I've been on a Cowboy team. We lost both coordinators and still went to a championship. You see what I'm saying?
Michael.
I'm just saying that. So you're telling me
ain't no Michael Irvin on this team. The numbers on the team at 88, but the player ain't there.
Philly has a system. They believe in their system. They thought they were to promote some people right in from in the system, and they kept it going. And it did work the first 10 weeks of the season, 11 weeks of the season. They were 10-1. To go from that and collapse to what they did, that's a major fall because they know they can get there. They've been there. Dallas has never been there. We're still hoping they got the right players to get there.
You're the number 2 seed, man. You lost to the 7th seed.
and been the number one offense and ain't put up any points in the playoffs.
You won every game at home this year. You played at home. You didn't play on the road.
And you didn't put up any points in that last playoff game at home.
That's a collapse.
Right, no doubt.
Everybody that was betting
no doubt.
was betting that the Cowboys was going to beat Green Bay.
No doubt.
Everybody wasn't betting that the Eagles was going to beat Tampa.
Whoa, wait a minute. Wait. No, that's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true. Tampa, first of all, Tampa had scored 9 points the week before that.
That's
against
true.
Carolina.
Yes.
Against Carolina. 9 points. So I didn't go into that game like, oh, Tampa about to blow them out. They scored 9 points against the worst team in the National Football League. Come on, man. So are you joking? How is it Philly didn't go in and knock Tampa? Dallas went right down there last year and knocked off Tom Brady out, kicked him right on out the league. That's it. Gonna retire. You see what I'm saying? Gonna retire. They lost Tom Brady when Dallas knocked them off and got Baker. They trying to tag him with my moniker, Baker the playmaker, but he's still Baker. You understand? And Baker sent you home. Jordan Love is up and coming. Baker is trying to hold on.
Stop
He's
selling
holding
that.
on and holding on tight. He's on his 15 in 5 months.
Who you selling it, though?
He beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
You good selling it.
Jordan Love looks like the third coming. He gonna beat Brett and Aaron Rodgers.
The 7th seed.
Baker Mayfield beat you.
The 7th seed beat the number 2 seed with a bunch of 22-year-old kids. Man, stop.
And they do have a good young team.
Man, them dudes, the oldest dude at the skill position is 24 years old.
I'm opening my Saturday show with this. All number 1 seeds, be ye aware. Because these young guns are gunning. I'm going to tell you something, boy. I believe both of those young guns can take out the number 1 seeds if they're not careful.
Okay, cool. All right, we got 2 Cowboy alumni here at the desk. I want to keep it simple and ask each of you, starting with Michael, what are your top 5 Cowboys teammates of all time? Who?
I love this question, man. I love this question because there's so many different reasons why you pull them in. I will say this. I got some great friends, and we've done some great things, and it's still my boys to this day. You know, the Dion, Emmett, and Troy. My boys to this day. To this day. So, you know, I mean, every day we text a call and talk about how much we love each other. So they're great, great, great friends, and I need them, love them. But I'm going to put a couple guys with them 3. If I was to start a football team, and somebody asked me, who's your first draft pick? He would be Eric Williams, offensive tackle. Eric Williams, offensive tackle. That dude, he sets the tone in everything. Once we got Eric, things flew off.
Big E.
Big E was a different dude. I'm going to take Big E. I'm going to take Larry Allen. I'm going to take them 3 I mentioned, Troy, Emmett, and Dion. And I'm good. I got big-time protections. Dudes don't even want to look at Larry Allen. Y'all know that. Hey, I've seen people say, man, that Larry Allen is something different. We used to go to practice, and coach would be watching film. He'd come out, stop. Everybody come in the meeting room. He just saw something Larry did to Greg Lloyd. We gonna watch this again. Larry would be pulling and just hit Greg Lloyd. He flew 15, 20 yards that way. I said, golly, that's how you handle that position. I'm going to start with Eric Williams, Larry Allen, and my 3 big boys, Troy, Emmett, and Dion.
And you, Dad?
My 5 Dallas teammates?
Yeah.
I mean, we were sorry, basically. We was trying to figure it out. I'd say Jason Witten, Aaron Glenn.
Good dudes.
Larry Allen. LA was still playing when I got there. Terrence Newman and DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah, them good dudes.
Yeah, all them good dudes. All them good.
Bill put Larry through something. I'm going to say this.
Yeah, no, he did. He did.
Let me tell you, I'll share the story. It's long enough now. I can share. I was getting ready to fly somewhere to go work. I got a phone call, from Jerry, and they're like, man, I don't know. I should tell. I forget. I said, man, Michael, man, I need you. Listen, Mike, listen. I said, boss, I'm headed to the airport. I got to fly from New York, LA to work. He said, listen, I need you to go by there and talk to the big fella. He didn't get on the plane, Larry Allen. I need you to go to his house and talk to him, man. It's something he got going with Bill. Because Bill pushing him.
Yeah.
I said, golly, I went over to the big fella house. His wife answers the door. And she said, oh, Larry, they're sending the big people. Michael's out here to see you. I go in the room. Big fella sitting in the room. You know how bad you about the room. I said, big fella. The team, they already taken off, man. What's going on, big fella? What you got? He said, man. I said, big fella, listen, I'm with you. Whatever's going on, if you got a good plan, we're going to sit right here and hash out the plan. If you don't got a good plan, we need to get you on the airplane right now, big fella. I said, tell me, you got a good plan? No, dog, I'm just tired of it, dog. I said, come on, big fella, let's get you packed up. Let's get you packed up. You know, when he got on the plane, but Larry just, he couldn't, Bill was coming out, he couldn't handle it. Yeah. And I said, Larry, come on, man. Larry, he's just trying to bring the best out of you. You still got great football in you because Bill loved him. Yeah. Bill was never talking about going anywhere. Yeah. He just wanted him to lead the whole crew. And I'll never forget that. I finally got big fella on that airplane. But I was saying, if this big fella if he doesn't want to go, I don't know what to do here, buddy. I don't know what to do. That's a whole different thing right there.
Larry was strong as an ox, man.
Man, I took Larry out for his first Pro Bowl. I used to joke.
I've been to the Pro Bowl with you. You don't need to tell all that.
Pro Bowl, dog. And we stayed out all night. Came home. We didn't even make it to practice the next day. We came like
I've been there with you. Trust me.
Let me tell y'all what happened now. The next day, they were doing this contest. You know the contest they do on the beach. 275 pounds. Big fella came to me. He said, hey, Michael, man, mama mad. I said, well, big fella, you just tell her, you just got drunk. We didn't want to drive all the way back. He said, yeah, man. And then they were lifting weights on. The big fella said, what they doing over there? I said, man, that's a contest. 275 pounds. Many times you can win. You win like $50,000, $75,000. He said, yeah. He said, I can go win and get at the mama. She won't be mad. I said, yeah, dog, you go. Larry went over there, 275 pounds. 46, 47, 48, 49. What's the most? I said, what's the most? He said, 44. He said, you did 10 more, like 54. He said, I said, that's good enough. That's enough, fella. Mama gonna be happy. You can put the weights down and go get that check.
Strong.
Nobody. He is so strong. I mean, God
I got hit by him, and I was blocking, and he ran through me.
That's a wall.
And like you say, G. Lloyd flew about 10 yards. I flew about 5.
That's a wall.
And I'm blocking. He cleaned this dude up, and he was coming to get mine.
And he could run. That's another thing, man. He could stand still and dunk the ball. Once we were playing basketball, he stood still, right off double feet, dunked the ball. I swear. The whole rim fell on him. Yeah. Broke the goal. The whole rim fell on him. I said, big fella, let me get this rim. You go to the complex. So he's bleeding and we got to get ready. I threw them people like $3,000-$4,000. I said, I'll pay for that basketball goal. Let's go, big fella. And got him out of there, man. But I love my big fellas, man. Big E and Larry, they would go all the time. Those are the kind. See, that's what I need the Cowboys to have now. Some of those kind of go-getters that'll fight back with some real fight.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving forward, Jerod Mayo becomes the first black head coach in Patriots history. Check out what he had to say in this introductory presser.
I loved it.
I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. But what I would say is, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people and really understand those people. So it goes back to whatever it is, black, white, yellow, it really doesn't matter, but it does matter so we can try to fix a problem that we all know we have.
Dad, let's start with you first.
Right.
What's your reaction to this?
Well, first of all, he's got the right perspective, Michael, on everything. Being the first black head coach of that football team in that particular region is going to be interesting. It's just going to be interesting, even though he was drafted by him, he played for him, he coached for him, he's been there. So he's part of the community, part of the fabric.
Right.
He said that because he understands the environment that he's getting ready to enter into. Everybody in the Massachusetts area is not of the belief that the race part of that, or the race element, plays a factor in who you hire and who you don't hire. Not everybody's that way. But there are a section of individuals in that particular area that have issue with somebody that looks like Jerod Mayo being a head coach. That's just the facts of it. You can go to South Orange County, you can go to different parts of Los Angeles, and people feel things a certain way. The great thing about it is he recognizes that. He's not oblivious to it or blind to the fact. And he knows it. That's why he put it out there so they know that I know that you know that we know that, hey, I'm watching you very closely. He already knows that. Right. And furthermore, that Mr. Kraft is not even worried about that. He's not worried about it because he's looking for a guy who can help his team advance into the playoffs and possibly win a Super Bowl. That's all that matters to him. And I think that for Jerod Mayo, who's worked in the corporate world, who's played in the NFL, who's done all of those sort of things, is different than other people that would have gotten that job that don't look like him. Right. And that's key. That's so key for him, his team, his players to know that this is how he feels and understands everything that's going on in the area. And look, if he gets off to a bad start, do I believe that there's going to be a section of people in that particular environment that feels a certain way? Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Cam Newton came to the team, hadn't even taken a snap yet, and the dudes on the radio stations in Massachusetts was poking fun at the way that he dressed and trying to, create a problem based on his hair and all that because he's taking over for Tom Brady. Right. So I'm not oblivious, and neither is Jerod Mayo.
I thought he did a wonderful job in bringing them into the new age.
Yeah.
There were a few things he said that I listened to, and I always say, the Bible says that out of abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. I've always been curious, a little skeptical when I hear people say, I don't see color. What do you mean you don't see color? And it's your way of saying I'm not racist is I don't see color. That's not saying you're not racist. Because I want to see color. I don't want to see any difference in people, or how I treat people. I don't see color, Yes, you do. Can you see? You see. So I understand. Just stop saying we don't see color. We see it and we treat it all accordingly.
Yes.
That was important, that we can see that we are different, but we're all the same. And let's learn about each other and the differences and make it all a place that we come to get better from and not something that makes us bad from it. That's why I say, stop saying you don't see color. Say, I see a beautiful rainbow that we can do some beautiful things with. That's the reality of it. One thing he said, though, and I thought was interesting, it wasn't even him. It was Matthew Judon that said it. He said he's always, talking about Jerod Mayo, he's always been a certain way when you played with him, whatever. He would always come to you with information and coaching you, even when he was a player. But I thought this was fascinating, Jerod Mayo's, that he said about Jerod Mayo, Matthew Judon. He said every time he's ever come to me, he's always said, listen, let's look at this. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong.
Yeah,
it only matters we see it the same way.
Yeah.
Now, that's the Patriot Way 2.0. Bill Parcells ain't going to tell you. Bill Belichick ain't going to tell you we got to see it the same way.
No.
But that head coach, who's a black man sitting here saying, I don't have no ego. It ain't about who's right or wrong. We got to make sure we seeing this the right way so we can go win football games. That, I said, he may have a chance. I don't want to just hear what you say. I want to see how you think. And that told me something on how he think. That'll give him a great chance in New England.
Okay, we've got some make or break potential legacy games. Let's talk Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. Here's what Nick Wright had to say about the matchup for Allen.
I think by far. I think it's unequivocally top two. The only argument you could make is the AFC title game in the 2020 season. But that was such a different spot. Now you're at home. It's a Chiefs team that is, of the Mahomes era, statistically the most vulnerable. And these windows don't stay open forever. So I think that this is far and away the biggest game of Allen's career.
Playmaker, let's start with you. Is this a make or break game for Josh Allen?
Absolutely. Period. And that's why I'm taking the bill. Because whatever he has to put it on the field tonight. Right? When they're playing, he has to put it on that field. This has been the issue again in Buffalo to the promised land. Kansas City has been in the way. You're getting Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes. He's had his worst season of his career. Worst season statistically of his career. They're coming off. They had so many drops, and you're getting them at home. Patrick Mahomes has a 79 passer rating away from home in the playoffs. In the 3 Super Bowls, because those are the only things he played in the playoffs, away from home. Neutral site Super Bowls. He's 112 at home in his games, all his playoff games at home, 112 passer rating. So there's something to what happens on the road here. And they got their best chance right now, Buffalo, to win this game. If they don't, they'll come in there with a buster and start busting it up. Because if you don't beat Kansas City, this place right here, you may never beat them.
Yeah, it's time. The time is a ticket for Sean McDermott, right? I mean, he took over the defensive play calling from Leslie Frazier. Defense is kind of falling apart a little bit there because of injury.
A lot of injuries.
But you also look at the Josh Allen. Several years ago, he was supposed to be the guy to take Patrick Mahomes out. He was supposed to be the guy to end the Patrick Mahomes era in winning Super Bowls and AFC championship games.
His dominance.
That didn't happen.
Right.
It didn't happen. He got nicked by Joe Burrow. He came right back, won the Super Bowl last year. Now you got an opportunity again to at home. 3-3 head-to-head, but Patrick Mahomes 2-0 in the postseason against him. So now...
with a 13-seconder.
Yeah, with a 13-seconder in there. So now you look up and you say to yourself, I'm at home against him. They're not as good as they once were.
Right.
I can now write my own story, good or bad. I'm looking for the good one, but it's getting ready to be the bad one because what's going to happen is if you lose this game, like you said, Michael, chances are they're getting ready to clean up a whole lot of mess over there. So you get ready to hit a reset button, start all over again. So familiar faces won't be in that locker room. It'll be new faces in that locker room if you don't take care of business. Now, I personally got Kansas City winning the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what happened because if Kansas City wins, I'm betting that Brandon Beams is getting a call from the owners to say we got to relieve a lot of people of their duties.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting game. I think Buffalo has to win this game, though, any chance they got. And Josh Allen, I want him to hear this, you can be the most beloved athlete ever in Buffalo. You win this game, get this team to a Super Bowl, a possible chance. I know they went 4 times in a row, but we sent their butts right back home fast. And Josh Allen may get a chance. Josh Allen may get a chance now to set up there even above my great friend Jim Kelly in Buffalo lores if he take care of business. And I believe he will Superman this game.
We got an AFC playoff matchup between the Ravens and the Texans. Nick Wright claims no quarterback has more to lose than Lamar Jackson heading into the weekend.
Right now, of the 8 playoff quarterbacks remaining, Lamar has the lowest career playoff passer rating, by far the lowest career win percentage, by far. And he cannot fall to 1-4 and have another bad passing game in the postseason at home, rested, healthy as the 1 seed. If it were to happen, DeMonte, where does he start next year
in AFC quarterback rankings.
Right outside of 5?
Mahomes, CJ, Burrow, and Allen. If CJ as a rookie beats him on the road, no one's even going to be able to make a credible argument.
Guys, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think anyone else has more to lose than Lamar Jackson?
Let me think real quick. In the playoffs that's left, anyone has more to lose than Lamar? I think Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen does, but Lamar has a lot to lose. He'll be the MVP this year. He's had home field advantage as the number 1 seed. He's yet to advance his team to the AFC Championship game. He has an opportunity going up against C.J. Stroud, a young team who hadn't been in this position before in a very, very, very long time. So, yeah, he has a lot to lose, but I think him and Josh Allen are probably on equal ground because even if he loses this particular game, his coach ain't probably going to get fired. If Buffalo were to lose, Josh Allen most likely is going to be playing for a new guy after this year. I mean, that's the way that I see it. We all want Lamar to take the next step. We got him the offensive coordinator in Todd Monken that so many people wanted him to have in the passing game. We got him a plethora of wide receivers, Mark Andrews possibly coming back for this game. He has a lot to lose, but I don't know if it's the most because of Josh Allen.
I think he has the most to gain also.
He has the most to gain.
The demarcation from regular season to playoffs, he's 1-3 in the playoffs. As we heard Nick say, we were talking about this earlier. But this style of play that he is in now, see, 1-3 in the playoffs, when you have a running quarterback and you've been being beat up all season long, sometimes you don't even make it, certainly not healthy going into some of those games. And I think that has a toll. This year, he's more standing in the pocket and delivering the ball down the field. This is a different Lamar Jackson. This Lamar Jackson can perform well enough that we're going to kick out the 1-3 Lamar Jackson. Because the 1-3 Lamar Jackson only won football games hips down with his leg, making great runs. This Lamar Jackson, with the talent he has, is winning now with his arm. And that's what he wanted to be. When he came in the league, he said, I know people think I'm a running back, and you were running like a running back. But now he's throwing it like a quarterback. He was looking to be a quarterback, but running like a running back. And we never gave it to him, even though he got the MVP in 2019. This is a different Lamar. That's why I can remove all 1-3. What you see from here on out is the Lamar I will measure. And what I saw this year, he will play well.
Okay, so back in December on Undisputed, you guys reacted to Randy Moss's wide receiver Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
You both responded with your own list, so we took it to the fans on Twitter for a vote on which Mount Rushmore list was all facts. From what we see here, the people have spoken, and it looks like you guys both lost in favor for Randy Moss. Guys, defend your choices. I want to hear a debate. We'll start off with you, Michael, with your whopping 4.1%.
Right. Well, we are in, what I call this, Instagrammable world. And the world get caught up on individuality. So we Instagram all these old funny pictures and everybody watching that and everything. But I come from the world of championships. And if I want to hear, I want to get a lot of great catches. That's great. A lot of great yards and touchdowns. That's great. But did you get to where you're trying to go? And that's a championship. And that played a role in my deciding who got up there, to be honest with you. And obviously, it doesn't play a role in these Instagrammable world because the numbers, you get fame, you get popular just by Instagramming. Back then, you had to earn the right to say you wanted the top guys, and you had to do it by winning championships, not just catching passes. So, a lot of great players, you can measure it how you measure it. Mine has always got to end up with a ring some kind of way. That's just the bottom line for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Michael. I could care less about the social media behavior. I could care less about agreeing with me on certain things that I believe in. When I look at the list of wide receivers, now look, I can put I can put many receivers and many of I could put Chris Carter in there. I could put many different players.
Randy Moss, but you're not giving up your career for him. You got a ring, Key.
No,
you got a ring.
No, I'm not giving up my career for them.
And
it's only one person I'm giving up. It's only one receiver. Well, it might be two. It might be two receivers. It might be two receivers in the history of the NFL that I give my career up for.
They want a ring.
Jerry Rice.
And I will for Jerry Rice.
And the dude sitting across from me, because he got 3 rings and he was a nice partier too. Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what you mean? That's okay. That was fine.
Y'all know Key and I, we go way back.
Way back.
Way.
Michael and Jerry, the only 2 receivers that I'm giving up my career for. I played with 18 different damn quarterbacks in 11 years.
Right.
I ain't never had the same quarterback in back-to-back years.
Stop telling me about all these damn jokers that caught passes that didn't matter in the 3rd and 4th quarter with games that don't matter. Tell me about the importance of your grabs.
Well, it's very
Did you get somewhere with it? Did you win or did you just catch a lot of passes?
It was an important part of winning that season in the Super Bowl. Not just a guy that played special teams and ran there, but actually contributed in the Super Bowl, in the playoffs, done those things. I got Jerry Rice. I got Michael Irvin. Okay, so that right there. What is that? 6 Super Bowls?
6 rings.
6 rings between the 2 of them. Then I got Randy Moss, and I got Moss there because you can't.
This is a bad boy.
Come on, man. Moss is Moss.
This is a bad boy,
You
man.
can't. How you
Randy's
not gonna have Moss on something?
Right. Randy a bad boy.
And then I got Marvin Harrison. And I
That's
don't
a bad
understand
boy, too.
how you not gonna have Marvin Harrison on your list.
Yeah.
What are you gonna
Bad
tell
boy.
me about Marvin Harrison? That is just, he did what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. And that's it. He broke Jerry Rice's single season reception record. I forgot what it was. It was like 140 something or something crazy at a time where it's like, wow, everybody knows he's getting the football. So I could switch out Marvin Harrison, but guess what? Marvin has a ring. Marvin Harrison has a ring. He played in the Super Bowl and caught balls. So to me, that's important. I understand Moss had Megatron. Megatron is
Bad man.
bad dude. I don't take nothing away from
Calvin Johnson a
Megatron.
bad dude.
I don't take none of his size, speed,
Bad
all
dude.
of those sort of things.
Yeah, me neither.
But he couldn't.
And T.O.
But he couldn't win.
Bad boy.
Bad. There's nothing
Bad
wrong
boy
with it.
and catching passes.
Yes.
And scoring touchdowns. Bad dude.
Nothing wrong with it.
But didn't win a championship. And why? In T.O.'s case, is it because of the kind of teammate? Had the talent to do it.
Yes.
Had the talent
Played
to do
in the Super Bowl.
But couldn't get it together to do it. Had a hell of a game.
Yes.
Had a hell of a game on a bad leg.
Yes.
Had a hell of a game.
But it
Hell of a
didn't-
game.
I can't. First of all, I'm not replacing you. I'm not replacing Moss, and I'm not replacing Jerry. And you only got one spot. I can't put another guy up there that doesn't have a ring versus a guy that has a ring and has the numbers and all the other stuff, and it was an important part of what they did. I can't do it.
And Marvin Harrison
I can't
helped
replace
them
him.
build. And some of it. When I got in the Hall of Fame, you know what they tell you? They said, whatever you did off the football field, really by law, the bylaw says you can't even put that in the decision. But they put that in the decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it kept me out a few years, and I was cool with it. When time came, I still walked in there, and I was happy and proud to walk in there.
Don't matter when you get the jacket, you got the
I said the same thing
jacket.
to T.O. I was with T.O. We were shooting him, making a commercial shoot. He came with a jacket that he had built, a gold jacket he had built. Put all his stats on. Hall of Fame gold jacket that he built. I said, T.O., why when they, okay, let me get this right. When we had the commercial, you made a jacket, a Hall of Fame jacket with all your stats on it. When they offered you, I knew it took a few years, but they said, here's the real jacket. Then you said no. What is that? What is that? Every stop that you've gone in, there's been some type of an issue. And even the final stop, which is, great talent. What I just told you about them dudes that tapped me when we were losing and I was crying, they were talking about picking up money, not winning championships. They had to go.
Yeah.
I only want people that are talking about winning championships. That's the most important
And there's
thing.
guys that get Hall of Fame jackets because they individual careers and
it's
they've
great.
done well individually. But criteria in certain situations is championships.
What kind of team player are you?
No one is
Can you
saying
help
that
me
those
win a
players
championship?
aren't phenomenal and, and
phenomenal.
they deserve. No one says that. It just says that along with the statistics, where's the championship rings?
It's the only thing that we can have a true measure of, because we're not going to play in the same amount of games. We won't have the same amount of opportunities. So we can't measure
We ain't
one
playing the same
on
amount of
all
games,
that.
same
It's
amount of
a different
opportunities.
game plan. We can't measure it
In
on
some people's case, some people play with the same quarterback for a number of years.
Right. We talked about, how many guys
Give me one quarterback for 5 years. Give me that same dude for 5 years.
Right. I played with my guy.
For 5, give me that.
Right.
Give me Vinny Testaverde for 5 straight years and see what the numbers look
I
like.
had him for my first few in college.
But think about it, though. I had him in 98.
So
I had him in 98.
When he got you, he was saying, I got me another Michael Irvin.
And went crazy
That's what
in
he
98.
said when he got with
He got hurt in 99, and I had to play with 3 quarterbacks in 99.
Vinny was good, too, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, Vinny was good.
Man.
But you try to explain that to people to get people to
Right.
understand when you are playing with dudes that if I name my quarterbacks, man, people would be like, huh?
Right.
Who was that? Like, it is not diminishing who they are. It's just saying I didn't have the luxury of playing with one guy for multiple years.
Right.
And I still was able to put up numbers. But imagine.
And you were the first pick. You were the first pick.
Yes.
So that meant you went to the absolute worst team.
The absolute worst team. Man, I was 1-15 as a rookie.
Right. They tried. I told a story. They tried to get me to stay because I left after my junior year, and that's the carrot they laid in front of me. Excuse me. They said, "Listen, we're going to put you up for the Heisman." I don't care about no damn Heisman.
I gotta get my family out this ghetto.
Then they said, we're going to push you and try to make it a first pick. I said, no, wait a minute. Let's think about that one now. I wanted to do that because there's nothing like if you're going to be the first pick at the draft. I was like, I had to stay in for that, to be that. But when I started getting the realities of what he is, I told my family, I said, man, I'm going to try to be the first pick, man. I'm going to stay in because, they weren't really drafting receivers first, but stay in college. Man, they said, man, we can't, man, listen, we hungry now. Yo, I'm the 15th or 17th. Like, listen, we've been waiting on you. You going now. They made the decision that I'm going, man, but there's nothing like being.
But hopefully we responded well to the social media critics about our list. Right. I can't believe they put you down to 4.1%.
Yeah, that's all because that's Cowboy haters. I put Drew up in there. I put Drew Pearson up in that thing, man, and gave him some love because I thought he deserved that love. That's what that is.
All right.
Well, I know, Dad, you're not really too big on social media, but we saw a post last week at the bar. If we could check it out.
Oh, that's that joker right there.
Well, that's Mike. At halftime, he can't believe it. Look at it. 27-0. Damn, Mike.
Listen, y'all know they moved that game last week, so we went right up. I worked right up to the Cowboys game. So Keys already texted me. I said, man, I'm coming, man. I'm working, right? I'm coming, right? So already down 10-0. So that's why I was in the suit. Early on, I'm in the suit. And everybody was coming up to me talking, not right now. Like, back up. Not right now.
Yeah, and then he changed at halftime.
I changed.
And right at the end of the game, he went in the dressing room and changed into street clothes. After they lose, the 7th seed the 7th seed beat the 2nd seed 48-32, and you changed. So I had to get you.
And what's so funny though? Why do we as grown-ass men think that we can use the butterfly effect and change the outcome of a game? Like, I'm sitting there with my clothes on. This ain't working. Go get them jeans out of the car. Let's go change this. Oh, I'm sitting in this seat, and I'm talking. I say, hey, this seat ain't working. I got to go. I'm going to go sit over here. Why do we think we're going to really affect the game with that craziness? Blows my mind.
I did affect the game. When Dak threw the pick 6, I said he getting ready to throw a pick right here. He threw pick 6.
You did say that. You did say that, man. I was shocked. I wanted them, though, to take a different approach. And that I put on Mike McCarthy, too. They've run that slant so much, those all slants.
Yeah.
Like, let's add something to that. And he played it perfectly. He rolled the inside receiver and then sprinted to a CeeDee Lamb. And that was a great play by the defender.
That's it for today. Appreciate my guy, the playmaker, Michael Irvin, for joining the show. We'll be back with all facts and no breaks multiple times a week. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media at All Facts Pod. Until then, it's Keyshawn. Peace.